Why is volcanic activity starting to go crazy all over the planet? The latest one people evacuated from Iceland. Michael Snyder reports, all of a sudden the giant rock that we all live in is starting to go a bit nuts. Unusual volcanic activity is happening all over the globe, but the experts are assuring us that there's nothing to be concerned about. But could it be possible that they are wrong? After you have reviewed the information I provide in this article, come to your own conclusion. To me, it definitely appears that what we are currently witnessing is not normal. Right now, volcanic activity is causing a brand new island to emerge from the Pacific Ocean just off the coast of Japan's Iwo Jima Island. A new-born island that recently emerged from the Pacific Ocean after an underwater volcano eruption is now visible from space. Images from the European Space Agency ESA reveal the satellite images show the new landmass sitting around 0.6 miles, that's 1 kilometer, off the coast of Japan's Iwo Jima Island. The submerged volcano began erupting October 21st, with activity ramping over the next 10 days, and by October 30, explosions were taking place every few minutes, according to a translated statement. The eruption threw large lumps of rock into the air and shot a jet of gas and ash over 160 feet, that's 50 meters, almost vertically above the water surface. Needless to say, the new island is not born very often. I've been warning my readers about the alarming rise of volcanic activity in our oceans, and this is yet more evidence that something really strange is taking place down there. But when it comes to Japan, there's another volcano that I believe is far more of a threat. Let's keep a very close eye on Mount Fuji in 2024 and beyond, because when it finally blows, it's going to cause death and destruction on an absolutely massive scale. Meanwhile, in Iceland, residents of the town of Grindavik are being evacuated because of thousands of earthquakes have raised concerns that a volcanic eruption may be imminent. Some residents of the southwestern Iceland town of Grindavik were allowed to briefly return home Sunday to quickly gather essential belongings and pets left behind when evacuations were ordered amidst thousands of earthquakes that have rattled the region and raised concerns that a volcanic eruption may be imminent. Iceland's government declared a state of emergency and began the mass evacuation of Grindavik on Friday. Overall, that region has been hit by more than 4,000 earthquakes in recent days, and at least 1,000 of those quakes were actually recorded within the magma tunnel. That means that, something's coming up from there. The Icelandic Met Office, IMO, has been providing continuous updates on the potential disaster and said that based on observations, there is a significant likelihood of a volcanic eruption in the coming days. More than 4,000 earthquakes have struck in the region over the past 2 days, and the IMO said that since midnight on Sunday, 1,000 earthquakes were recorded within the magma tunnel, or dike, that formed at the end of last week. Here in the United States, Mount St. Helens has been rattling by 400 earthquakes since the middle of July. 400 earthquakes have been recorded under Mount St. Helens since mid-July, according to U.S. Geological Survey USGS. This is the longest series of tremors since the volcano's last eruption ended in 2008. We're being told that magma has been flowing through chambers deep underground as the volcano recharges. Specialized equipment has detected that magma has been flowing through the chambers deep underground, causing the volcano to recharge. There are fears the earthquakes could lead to another massive explosion reminiscent of 1980's eruption that left 57 people victims to that and permanently altered the area's ecosystem. I do believe that Mount St. Helens will erupt again, but as my regular readers already know, I'm even more concerned about Mount Rainier. On the other side of the world, seismic activity has been regularly shaking an absolutely massive supervolcano in Italy called Campi Flegrei. It's now the site of multiple volcanoes that have been active for 39,000 years, many of which lie underwater. It's also populated with villas, small villages, and shopping malls, and home to 800,000 people, and a hospital under construction. More than 500,000 of the locals live in what Italy's Civil Protection Agency has deemed a red zone, an area encompassing 18 towns that's at highest risk in the event of an eruption. An additional 3 million residents of Naples live immediately outside the eastern edge of the caldera, according to the Civil Protection Agency. The last major eruption of Campi Flegrei was in 1538, and it created a new mountain in the bay. Seismic activity in the area has been intensifying since December of 2022, according to Italy's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, INGV. And experts fear that the volcano could be reawakening after generations at rest. So far this year, Campi Flegrei has been hit by more than 3,400 earthquakes, and this has generated quite a bit of alarm. Currently in a state of positive bradyism, when the ground moves upward, the entire volcanic zone is also experiencing a surge in earthquakes that has rattled nerves and sent residents seeking safety out into the streets. In September, the strongest earthquake in 40 years struck the region, and that 4.2 magnitude quake was followed by one of similar strength just days later. So far in 2023, Campi Flegrei has recorded more than 3,450 earthquakes, 1,118 of which occurred in August alone. This is more than triple the previous year's total, according to INGV's data. More than 500 earthquakes occurred in October, the strongest of which hit 4 magnitude, following a dozen aftershocks. All of this seismic activity has been happening at a time when the giant ball of fire that our planet revolves around has been extremely active, the sun that is. In fact, a large coronal mass ejection that was unleashed hit us this weekend. And that's because the sun has unleashed an enormous coronal mass ejection, CME, which is set to hit the Earth this weekend, sparking a geomagnetic storm between Saturday and Sunday. This will fling charged particles into our planet, which will interact with oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere to emit green and red colors over our poles. The Met Office's space weather arm said aurora borealis, that's the northern lights, would likely be visible across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, and even as far south as central England and Wales, if skies are clear. Scientific experts are going to just keep telling you that nothing unusual is happening at all. And people like me are going to just keep telling you that cataclysmic times are now upon us. So who is right and who is wrong? As is the case with so many other things, time will reveal the truth. This is by Michael Snyder. He says, about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for the Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my ebook, I've written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, and of the American Dream and the most important news. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these other articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. and this is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.